Okay, I'm going to read out a story from the BBC. I'm reading this out because it took place in Newcastle, which is not too far from where I live, Newcastle upon Tyne. And it's quite a sad story, but at least it may not be, depending on the outcome. But it's opened a bit of a debate underneath the story, and I thought it would be interesting to see what my subscribers thought of this. I'll read the story, then I'll tell you my own views. But just to let you know, the replies to this on the BBC Facebook page were very mixed. But here is the story. Bird bath thieves apology note to devastated owner. If you don't know what a bird bath is, it's a little container for birds to feed on. A thief who stole a bird bath from a garden in Newcastle returned to the scene to leave an apology note. The theft of a large stone ornament from the Kingston Park area left the 82-year-old owner devastated, as it was a present from her late husband and it was her pride and joy. Following an appeal by police, a few days later a note written on a piece of cardboard was left on the doorstep. It read, "I am so very sorry. When I can afford to, I will replace it." A Northumbria police spokesman said it's clear that the offender feels guilty about his actions. They assume it's a he. Might have been a girl. And I would urge him to come forward and contact police so we can reunite the bird bath with its owner. Similarly, if you have received a birthday present that matches the description of the bird bath taken from this vulnerable victim's garden, then please get in touch. Um, There it read, "I am so very sorry. I wouldn't in a million years have done this, but I had to. It's my mother's birthday, and I'm in a very bad place. I can't afford a birthday present, and she doesn't know how bad it is. With deep regret, sorry, this is all I can think of. I'm so very sorry. When I can afford it, I will replace it." The woman wrote a letter in response which read, "I loved watching the antics of the birds in my bird bath, and the birds are missing it too. Yesterday a pair of collared doves who are daily visitors just sat on the fence, facing the empty spot for an hour. It was bought 25 years ago by my husband, who is now deceased. We were married for 53 years. A new bird bath won't ever replace it." The bird bath is described as 3 foot tall, stone in a Pompeii ash colour, with a wide basin at the top and an acanthus thief pattern up the step. Um, so that's the story. Basically, you have a situation there where a thief has stolen this item of sentimental value from an old lady, and the thief, the person feels remorse for doing it. So, my instinct on this is mixed. Part of me thinks that the person has some conscience because they realize that what they've done was wrong. But when you reflect on it a little bit, they were doing it to buy a present for their mother. Now, I think when the woman finds out that her son or daughter has done this, she's not going to be very impressed anyway. If you can't afford to buy a present, then make a card. Get cheap flowers or something like that. I've struggled financially, so I do believe I'm in a position where I can be reflective on this. It's not like I'm looking in on high. I have struggled as well. The person says they're in a dark place. Well, my thinking on this is that if I were the judge in this case, I would give quite a lenient sentence because there is a factor of remorse there. But I would ensure that the item was returned. So his mother, she'll be probably very angry with her son or daughter for doing this. But if the item is returned, then that's something. Saying that he or she will replace it is, as the old woman said, that isn't, it doesn't. It's just not the same. It's not the same. Now, I don't know if this thief got the sudden urge of remorse just because the police made an appeal. Um, but to me, it suggests that, and I might sound hard here, but it suggests that they only found their conscience when they found out that the item was of sentimental value, which indicates that they didn't really care. They didn't consider it the first time. So anyway, a lot of people on the forum were saying like, "Oh, we all make mistakes," and I would definitely forgive and so on. I understand where they're coming from because this person is obviously not a terrible person. They always have some conscience, so you can't compare them to sort of a thief who doesn't care. But theft is theft, and a crime is a crime, and You know, if this person was genuinely sorry, they would return the bird bath, um, you know, early in the next morning, and that would be it. They would explain to their mother. They would come clean and say, "Look, I couldn't afford to get you a present, so I done something stupid." But the fact that they've written this note only after the police appeal makes me slightly wary about it. Now, people are saying don't judge, we've all made mistakes, and I get that. I've done things in my life I'm not particularly proud of, but hand on heart I can say I've never stolen in that way. Never. So, well, I've never stolen, you know, full stop. So I think it's people are sort of making excuses here. And, you know, this person was not feeding starving children. They weren't feeding a terminally ill wife. They weren't a homeless person stealing to survive. This was someone who, I don't know what the background is, but I can't see that excuse being really, you know, when you weigh the two situations up, it's unfortunate, but my own view is now the fundamental question the BBC is asking, would I forgive? I would forgive if he or she brought it back. Then I would think, okay, well, they're decent enough to recognize that they've done something wrong. If they came to my house, I would say, well, look, you hurt me, but you've done the decent thing. We'll leave it there. Don't do this again. And, you know, if they've got some problem that is making them a thief, I probably feel compelled to urge them to get help, to sort the knife out. I'd maybe even help them to do it. But only under those circumstances would I forgive. Apologies written on a piece of cardboard is all very well, but you have to ask: is this really sincere, or is it because the police issued that appeal? So that's my thinking. I'll put a link to the story. Let me know your thoughts. If my stance does seem a bit hard line, I've been a victim of crime. I've had things of sentimental value stolen, and that's not something you could just easily forgive, even with an apology, because an apology doesn't bring back the item. That's the point. And I think to forgive, there needs to be closure. And if something is gone, then how can you get closure?